Jeff Audio.
He made this.
Je ne sais quoi.
He made this.
Je ne sais quoi. Je ne sais quoi.
Big Jeff Audio. Jeff Audio. Big Jeff Audio. Jeff Audio. Big Jeff Audio.
Big Jeff is back, yeah, let's start the show. Let me get you caught up if you did not know. You see, Jeff took a hit, yeah, he was off his feet, chilling in the ER, eating mystery meat. While he was laid up in the hospital gown, his team said, yup, and they held it down. The Big Jeff brand, it never fell off the rails. Taylor kicking ass kept making them sales. Benjamin ran the show like his name Jay Leno. Ask how he did, digo muy bueno. Pumping out vids, pushing out new content. And the usual suspects was killing the comments. We were smashing the like, cause yeah, you know it's on. But the MVP was the homeboy Juan. Back to business, cause the boss is back. Ask what is this, there's no cause for that. Cause like subwoofers we get down low. I present the return of the Big Sound Show. Deviant for life, yeah you already know me. Glad to see you back for real, big homie. He's back, oh snap, all facts, no cap, let's go.
Big Jeff Audio.
Episode 52, I don't know guys, I'm hearing like a double music on my side. Not sure why. Hopefully catch it up. Tonight, big night. Can you all hear me fine? Shawn? No? Okay. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it was weird. Like the music was doubling up on my side.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that to everybody. But yeah, I'm not losing my mind. There's an echo. Okay. I'm losing my freaking mind. Hold on, let me see something here. I got Shawn here, and we got Massive Audio Power in the house. Hold on, I'm trying to figure out what is going on here. Give me a second, guys. I'm still hearing it. Okay. If you guys ain't hearing double, I'm hearing double. And I'm not sure why, but we'll keep moving on. So anyway, I got Ioxus Power in the house. We got Massive Audio in the house. We got some big things to talk about tonight. We have a Ioxus Power UC31 giveaway to finally announce. We have a Massive Audio woofer Hippo XL 10-inch that we're going to be announcing that tonight. And y'all watched the live with the huge Deaf Bounce order. And I said whoever can guess closest without going over would get a free set of speakers. We're going to be announcing that. Looks like Shawn's grabbing some batteries. You've got some X Maxes back there, I guess.
I probably have some somewhere, to be fair.
Okay. All right. Also, we got some cool things to talk about tonight. I know you've been seeing the videos, Tiptop. Also, we just got these up. These are 2 to 16 spot A&L fuse holders. What makes these different? They are actually 1/2 inch thick bottom, which is incredible. So it can take the heat, 500 amp A&Ls. Those just went up on the website, all the way to 16. So check those out. Okay, JR, tell everybody who you are if they don't know who you are. Who are you?
My name is J.R. Mares, and I've been in car audio since I was 16, and I'm an aficionado just like most of the kids out there, except I'm not a kid anymore. And I'm the vice president of Massive Audio.
Okay, JR, hold on, guys. My team, is there a way?
My name is J.R. Mares, and I've been in car audio since I was 16.
Can you guys hear that second part to what you're saying?
Except I'm not a kid anymore.
Okay, hold on. This is what we're going to do.
And I'm the vice president of Massive Audio.
Can Taylor, can you jump on real quick? I'm going to try to fix this real quick. Hold on, guys. My team, is there a way?
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to lock. Go ahead.
I think you might have the live open in another browser or something, and you're like hearing it.
Oh, you know what? Okay, hold on. This is what we're going to do. Hey, I'm not going crazy anymore. Like everything was echoing, it wouldn't stop the whole thing. Now I feel better. No, I'm not on drugs. They took them all away when I was in the hospital. Let's start this over. Oh my God, I was going nuts. JR, Massive Audio, Shawn, Excess Power, also Sundown Audio tonight. And if I'm saying it over again, I just went through a loop like a time warp. We're doing some giveaways tonight. We're going to be talking to these guys about the products, the brands. Thank you, everybody, for joining in. We have a bunch of giveaways to announce. Man, I love doing this. Shawn, introduce yourself if people don't know who you are.
So I've been on the Big Jeff podcast a couple of times now. I think I was one of your first ones to come on and chop it up, one of the first few shows. I'm head of Team Excess Power, the competition team. I'm also head of our mobile electronics sales division. I have a couple of guys there who work really good. Obviously, we make lithium, AGM capacitor batteries. We make all kinds of different versions, including the new X-Max that just released. We also do power sports racing. Pretty much anything that takes a battery, we're a part of. I'm also a sales rep for Sundown Audio, so I kind of do both, but my primary focus is still Excess Power. I've been working with Jeff for 5 years now, Jeff, I think.
Right after COVID.
Yeah, right. I say it was actually before COVID, actually.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yep. And like I said, it's been pretty good. We're coming up with new stuff every year. We've got finals coming up in audio, so we're looking forward to doing that. But a lot of good stuff. Coming up, and we're glad to be here.
So everybody understand, thank you for joining us, episode 52. This is what we do. We bring on big names in the car audio world, people you might not even know who they are or talk to on a regular basis, and this is your time. So if you got a good question or you got a comment, we will try to get to it. First off, I want to start Massive Audio making a huge comeback, right? I mean, it's been around forever, Junior. Was big years ago, kind of never really left, but just the marketing and the things kind of slowed down. When was the turnaround? And I mean, what got that back into gear, man?
Well, what ended up happening is Eddie, who's the owner, he wanted to really make a mark on the brand and leave a legacy. So he decided to put a team together, and I was one of the team members that came along. And I was experienced in taking business from Massive a little bit. Right. During that time. So I was the perfect person to come in and see what the weaknesses were and see what we could do to improve the brand and improve the product. And that's one of the big things about me is I've been in the OEM parts business and OEM, business itself for over 30 years. So that was one of my strengths. Massive, one of the things that Massive does is they are a big part vendor, number one. Number two is, we do have the line, we have Fame Tech, we have Massive, we have a couple of other companies, but Eddie really loved audio. So he decided to focus on Massive and invest, some money and redesign the line. It had been 8 years since Massive had designed any new product, and this last year we got to work with some of the best engineers in the world. We just subbed out a lot of work, guys that I had worked with in the past.
I think the biggest thing that I've been seeing is the GTX or GTR is the new series, right? GTR.
Yes, we've been designing that for 2 years. Basically, the GT woofer was our answer to 500 watts, what we could do and get the maximum out of 500 watts. And the GTR was what we can do to get the maximum out of 1,000 watts.
Now,
so this is for stock cars.
The biggest thing for you guys right now is these X-Max batteries, right? Like lithium has taken over the car audio world, and now there's so many different types. You know, that's what we're seeing. Let me bring some up here. So what do we got here on the screen right now?
So what we did was everybody around Christmas, you were one of the first ones to get them. The X-Max 90 debuted and people went nuts over them. The plexiglass, the balancing, $1,000 price tag for 20,000 watts. It was a great battery, an amazing battery. Well, some people don't want the DIY look. They want the more conventional housing look, whether it be for marine or OE or just places where, you know, it may be a situations where exposed terminals is not the best idea, or they want the simplicity look. So we developed the X-Max 67, which was the one before this one. It's in a standard Group 34 housing, coming under $900 at retail. Again, 15,000 max wattage is how much that's rated for. It can take a single, like a 400 amp alternator by itself, roughly. Actually, we rated it at 300. It's a consistent, so 300 to 400 amps is how much we'd rate that battery for. That has a 4-year warranty as well, all in a Group 34 housing that people recognize.
Right. So everybody understands the group rating is the size of the case, right? So each vehicle has a different group size, GM, everybody. So Group 34 is your average, we'll call, right? The average size car battery. So you stuffed it in that, which before this, it had to be cells and bus bars and everything else. Now, you got what? We got the 45, right? We got the 67, and then you got the industrial look 90, which is metal casing, the works. Are guys able just to wire this in the car? Do they have to do anything special? I mean, is this thing ready to rock and roll from out of the box?
So there's people that like to use the 90. There's the 135 too. So that's the new one we haven't released yet. In about 2 weeks, it should be out. That's the 30,000 watt. We call that in King Kong in the warehouse. That's a 135 amp hour X-Max. I mean, it's literally 1.5 X-Max is put in one case. But a lot of people who run batteries in the back that aren't exposed under the hood heat can run an X-Max 90 or a 67 or a 135. They can run those by themselves. So that's something that is really looked after for that, because they don't have to have another battery that can kind of do everything. If they're running a battery into the hood, we generally recommend a Superbank, an SB500, or something like that. But as long as you're on that stock charging level of 14.8 or below, I mean, this is pretty much a plug and play. Of course, after charging initially, like every other battery, it's a pretty much plug and play battery. Even on stock alternators, these batteries can support, you know, crazy wattages that 5 years ago would have required a lot of accommodations. And it's pretty.
And let's be clear about that: 14.5 and below. So factory alternator, even an upgraded Mech or some regular voltage for these batteries. You want to do high volts, you're going to go LTO at that point. Okay. So that's the excess power Yinglongs we got, and 35, 40, 45 amp. But you need to charge those above 15 steady. The batteries you're making on these X-Maxes are everyday batteries, right? Says 80K. I'll actually jump in. So yes, they did acquire Ampro Audio, but they're going to remake the line. Tell me if I'm wrong, Shawn. At that point, then possibly we'd bring it in. Right now, they got a lot of work to do with that. You want to enhance on that, or you know, that say it right?
So I've been friends with Andrew, the owner of Ampere, for a long time. Andrew, a lot of people recognize the Vibraflex name from the Deadener. A lot of people recognize that name, and even knockoff people still call their heavy bitumen-based Deadener Vibraflex. It's kind of just like, oh, you're Vibraflexing your roof. Like, it's kind of like almost like deadening in some ways. It's a term that they use. It's not so much of a brand. So I've known Andrew for a long time. Obviously, he's a great guy. He's a great person. Like I said, him and I kind of talked back and forth about the situation of Ampere, and I think he was maybe looking at moving on. And it was just a really good opportunity for Systematic, the mother company of Excess Power and Sundown, to potentially bring in a brand that was something like this that we didn't really know what we were going to do with it.
Definitely some in the works to go full fledged on. I want to give a big shout out to Liberty Base. I rarely ever get on after hours, and there was a podcast last week, and I jumped on to say hi, and they showed a lot of love. Big shout out to him. Thank you for jumping in. His podcast is tomorrow night at this time, so you might want to check that out, Liberty Base. Real quick, I want to bring something up because this involves even you guys manufacturers. We got a new program called Tiptop, and I want to clear it because I've already seen some of the trolls, like we're taking in car audio as trade and resell at B-Stock. Tiptop is a program, Shawn, JR, that you can take old cell phones, tablets, whatever, trade them in for a value that'll come right off your card at checkout. We did a little promo. I'm gonna play that real quick. Hey, I want to talk about Tiptop. It's a new promotion we're running. If you want DS18, Rockford, Marks, B2, DD Audio, and many more, I'm going to tell you how to get $25 off any order $250 or more. One, watch this video, see how Tiptop works. And it's trading in old devices, old electronics for trade-in value instantly off your card. But if you don't want to do that, you can use Tiptop for 4 easy installments and still get the $25 off. Yes, this promotion will run till October 20th, 2024. Take advantage, save $25 plus the rewards points and all the other stuff you get from shopping at bigjeffaudio.com. Now, watch this video so you can see how Tiptop works.
Tiptop has partnered up with Big Jeff Audio to introduce a new way of paying easily and accessibly on our website. First, you'll want to browse for your desired product. Don't forget to sign up for our rewards program while you are looking for your products. It's a way to get some great stuff back. Once found, add to your cart and proceed to checkout. Now let's proceed to the payment option. Once there, fill in all your necessary information and details. And when choosing a payment method, make sure to click on Tiptop. Don't forget to fill all the necessary information to make this as smooth as possible. Now let's go and trade your device. Tiptop will ask you for a valid phone number to send you a confirmation code. This will ensure that your transaction is as secured as possible. Follow through Tiptop's catalog. You can choose your trade-in by category or look it up on a search bar. Once found, make sure to select.
So especially with these X-Maxes, they're not cheap. People could trade in some stuff laying around the house, come off their bill instantly at checkout, and it's a really cool program. You all know we started a giveaway, Shawn, and big shout out to you for it with the UC31s, the B stocks. Bad news is, tell everybody there is no more left. We got the last ones. There might be a couple that pop up, but they're gone. And we're going to be announcing the winners. We gave one away because we basically held the actual winner off till tonight, but we have 4 there to give them away tonight. Do you think the UC31s are ever going to come back or type like that Ultra Cap?
So the cool thing about the UC31s is that you can get similar technology without the only difference is you don't have the Bluetooth, whereas you're not going to have the ability to be able to touch the positive and negative together when it's standalone and it's not protect itself. A cap bank like an SB500 is in a lot of ways stronger than a UC31. So there's options out there in the same similar case sizes. It may just not be at that crazy low cost that the UC31s have gotten to, unfortunately.
Right.
But there's always stuff on the horizon out there that we're coming out with that may not be exactly into that point, but are going to be close. Like I said, we're constantly pushing the edges on new items, and I'm sure the same thing JR is doing Massive is just constantly pushing the boundaries to see what new things we can come up with.
It was funny. Remember, Jared, last time we got into discussion about EV cars, right? And the whole night took a turn which was awesome because I learned a bunch of stuff I wasn't even aware of. But this is how technology is changing, and you guys as manufacturers and not cookie cutter Alibaba people throwing their names on stuff, you have to stay ahead of the times on all of this. I mean, otherwise you can't stay at the top, for sure. Zaz, which big shout out to Zaz here. He actually is one of our admins for the Let's Talk Car Audio, which is over 8,000 members already. It has exploded drama free. I was asking earlier to JR the MGKs compared to the new lines and difference.
So the MGK was actually a test of the GTR. So what we wanted to do is see whether we should put the money in the motor or into the basket, because the MGK has a cast basket where the GTR has a stamped steel basket that's actually about 60% thicker than the old basket. But what we found is to put the money in the motor in those drivers. So the MGK was trying that suspension, trying the new surround to make sure that it worked before we actually invested in tooling everything from the ground up for the GTR.
And we're going to get into the GTR talk because that's the hype right now, right?
Yeah, it's been 8 years since we designed something from the ground up, and the full GTR line, we got all the issues that we had in the past, we tried to account for, plus even added more stuff to it, like the American voice coil, something that I've been working with for over 30 years that I believe is just a game changer.
Now, Shawn, we're talking on the X-Max, that beast. I want to bring that back up because that's got to be a pretty big size. Here we go. This 135 amp per hour. That's got to be pretty ball. Are you able to say what kind of technology is this? What type of cells, or are we not allowed to know?
So this is the same as the 67, the same as the 90. It's just a bigger version, to be honest. They're all the same cells and the same chemistry, the same balancing style, same. That's why they all have the same pattern. They're just different casings. That actually is a D7500 housing. So that is a GC1 housing, a golf cart pretty much housing. A lot of people have the ability to fit that because it's just taller than a D3100. So, like I said, there's a lot of opportunity to fit that. It's not as big as it looks, especially in the photos, because for some reason those photos, even when I took them, I was like, oh my goodness, this photo is huge. It's not as big as it looks. So just to throw it out there.
No. And I think it's cool that you guys are making – people like to put stuff together, but I can tell you so many customers right away before they're buying, they're more worried about how to put it together, and no matter the YouTube links or whatnot, some people are just not made for that. So having batteries ready to come out of the box, go right in the car is a good thing.
And I liked what JR said too. I don't mean jump on you, JR, but I like what you said about the American-made voice coils, and that's a really cool aspect and a really cool piece to take pride in, is that American manufacturing, that American assembly production piece. Because, like, for example, we have our facility in New York, which is called Ioxus, where we hand make all of our ultra capacitors from the bare ingredients and materials, from the very basis of them up to completed finished products. And we're moving a lot of our products and our assembly and our manufacturing to that New York facility, obviously employing American jobs and stuff like that, and be able to take pride in that American people. So I really commend what, Massive's doing about that coil.
Real quick, Chad says any 18-volt battery is available.
So we do have a lot of batteries available in that range. So we've got, it's kind of a misnomer because you've got 12 volts that charge to 14. You've got D1400s that charge to 16 or 17. And you've got 16 volts that charge up to 19 or 20. So it kind of depends on, like, some people say, I need a 14 volt battery. What they mean is that I need a battery that charges up to 14.4. And if somebody puts them in a 14 volt battery, that's really a 17, 16 volt battery. So it's kind of a difficult when you try to make sure, okay, this is exactly what you're talking about. But the good thing is like with the excess power, the LTO cells that you guys have sold 10,000 plus over the last 5 years of, you can build any voltage pretty much that you want with those, because, like, for example, a lot of off-grid solar applications are used with those because they're LTO, they're inherently safe by nature, they've got good cycle life, and they can build whatever voltage and capacity they want. So it's kind of a really cool thing where if you want 22 volts, or I've designed a 48-volt golf cart, right? I've designed a 48-volt golf cart. I can do this many cells in a row, and it's good. So there's a lot of opportunities there for, unique sort of, transformability.
Now, everybody listening, we're going to announce the winners at the end of the podcast, but I will do the winner for the Def Box giveaway. I'm going to play that real quick. We had a big order. We get ready for Black Friday. Manufacturers get ready months in advance. Big sellers got to get ready months in advance, and we did. Let me pull that up real quick. I'm ready early for Black Friday, and all these pallets right here are just Def Bonds and Avatar. So pre-getting ready Black Friday. We already have this warehouse over here full. We're already stocked, obviously, but this way, whoever can guess, not the cost, but what the retail map value is on all those pallets, whoever gets closest to it without going over and comment on this live, I'll give away a set of 61 SEs from Def Bonds. Listen, guess how much that order was. Map, closest without going over wins a free set of speakers. Comment here, share this live out. I'm Big Jeff from Big Jeff Audio. I'll see you soon. Okay, so we got, I forgot how many pallets it was. We have a number. Ben, pull up our winner who came the closest without going over. David Baldrich. So we estimate out he did 187,000, and with to the nearest dollar we put it at 195. Congratulations. Contact 737 Big Jeff. Text, call, WhatsApp, whatever, and we get you a set of the 61 SEs. Congratulations. Deviant's actually a guy who does all our jingles and stuff. Deviant, I'll give you $5 for that Alpine pullout instead of Tiptop. I'd love just to have one on my wall. I saw that comment. Okay, listen, we're going to take a quick short video break. Come right back with Shawn Mayo from Excess Power, Sundown, Amper Audio, and many more, and Junior from Massive Audio. We'll be right back after the short break.
Since 1999, Massive Audio has been an industry leader in high-performance audio products. Massive Audio laid its roots in high-quality audio reproduction through in-house engineering and a dedication to customer satisfaction. Over the years, Massive Audio have expanded their line to include in-vehicle professional and personal audio products.
Now, I had some people ask, say, well, I put two big vendors on, and I'm like, you know what? The information between both of you and being in this car audio world for so long is incredible. And if you think about it, matching up batteries goes with all the lines that we sell. And Excess Power, we've stuck with them. We've turned down multiple other brands. I've even taken shit about turning down other brands, but we're very loyal to that. So it's a great mix. Massive Audio, Excess Power for sure. JR, let's talk about some of the new product that you guys got that you're working on. This amp actually is a cool looking amp. What was the designing? What was this? What was you guys thinking on this particular one?
Well, what that amplifier is, it's actually, we got a little bit of help from Dirk Ecker. He's the gentleman that was the co-founder of US Amps. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to incorporate the latest pro audio chipsets into car audio. And that's what we did here with the Hippo amps. The thing that's pretty cool about these, the 1000, the 3000, and the 5000, is what we did is we have these meters because these chips have actual feedback on them. They have the protection circuits is all built into the chips. So the chips monitor the output and the inductive kickback coming back. And what we do is we get this energy that's coming back and we funnel it to the outputs. So in case the outputs are sagging, which happens often in these amps, in most amps, especially car audio, because we're working on 12 volts, it gives it a lot more power output and a lot more stability. But the main thing is, like on this amp, it switches at almost 650,000 times per second, but it's also going up to 30K, which the old full range amplifiers would only go up to like maybe 18K or something. And the 4-channel version of this goes up to 50K. And the reason
it's funny hearing you talk about this because I hear so much drama on And all people care about is how much power does it do at what ohm, and don't realize that there is a real background or engineering, even into the batteries, right, Sean, with cycles. You taught me life cycles. The amplifiers are not just power and ohm. There's a lot to them that separate them from all the different manufacturers that actually create them. I like the look of this. I like that it has, I think everybody's going with that multimeter on the front, things like that. These are really nice size. Are these more Brazilian design? Are these a Korean design? Are these what is the innards, the guts?
It's a fusion from an old US amp design that's been updated with the new chipset. So the drive circuitry from the amplifier is actually from US Amps, designer Dirk Ecker, but the chipset is something new. So like I said, that's the chipset right now that's being used in almost all pro audio. It's the standard because of the sound quality. It's the first time that we have product where we can design it. Like for car audio, when people used to design the amp, they just designed the amp with no account for the speaker. So that's not really going to get you the most, because when we design an amp, we need to know what's the phase shift of the current, what's the resistance of the current, how's the current moving? Is the current moving through a wire? That means one electron after another electron. Or is it moving through magnetic induction, whereas you can move multiple electrons at the same time on the linear plane of magnetics? So things have changed a lot. So we think, we talked a lot about this on amplifiers and new technology and how the new IGBT outputs can bypass the power supply, and you can go up to 450 volts, even 1200 volts, and power these outputs. There's a lot of changes because the content in the music has changed. Before, car audio and home audio was to play recorded music, and pro audio was for high content live music with a lot more information. But now these files are available in Spotify and Amazon HD, and pretty soon we're getting up to 32-bit. Most car audio products nowadays can't play that. So that's one of the things that we wanted to do, is we designed, like on the GTR, a multi-directional spider, because we needed something that reacted a lot quicker than the typical spider that only had 4 points of tension. Now you have 360 degrees tension, so you can minimize the deflection of the spider, making it more efficient, but yet still center the coil.
Now, Sean, when you guys are designing new technology in batteries, because that's excess power thing, I got to think you're taking all this stuff into consideration and other brands, right, before y'all accumulate at sundown. But doesn't this have to come into play when you guys are trying to redesign bigger, better, or even when you went into the X-Max, that people are doing bigger amplifiers, more voltage on the alternators? I got to think this has got to play part in designing. Both of you guys.
So it's cool because we compete, JR and I, because he makes the small amplifiers and he makes a smaller footprint for a bigger wattage power. I make smaller batteries for bigger wattage. So it's a constant, our batteries are better than the amplifiers, or then the amplifier technology catches up and the batteries come back down. And it's same with subs and everything. So yes, we constantly have to keep pushing the boundaries, because eventually if JR and those guys quit trying to do different things and our batteries catch up, well, then you start seeing that difference. Well, then if we don't stop continuing to advance, because obviously even during the release of one product, we're sitting back behind here going, man, we could have done that with that. Like, we're already kind of planning 2, 3, 4, 5 steps ahead. And it's a constant, you get about, they talk about like people who have a championship mentality, where it's like you get about 30 seconds of happiness and then you're like, well, dang, now I got to start for next year. I got to, it's that whole mentality of nothing's ever really good enough in the nicest of ways. And I think that's kind of what he was getting at with the spiders and with the production and constantly.
Well, you said some of the stuff is years of planning, and the average consumer, the average end user, only believes what they see on social media, but they don't understand that you guys as real manufacturers, there's years of designing, trial and error, and then even when the product's produced, like Sean's saying, you're already planning what we're going to change.
It's really hard to explain, especially with the creation of online and the product manufacturers overseas selling here, and anybody with a credit card or a checkbook can get their own speaker line. It's kind of a unique situation, but the dying art of a lot of things is kind of what JR said. It's the same thing like Jacob Fuller with Sundown does and Scotty does with excess power. It's like you can't. There's a I'm going to explain it. There's just a level of craftsmanship behind where it's like there's really true innovators in the industry and true craftsmen that really turn these things up. And sometimes without, like JR explaining it, it's hard to see that. It's hard to not see an amplifier and say, oh, look, another 1,050 watt amplifier. That's cool, Massive. Or another 1,500 watt sub Jacob at Sundown. That's cool. Until you listen to the, hey, this is why we designed this. This is the difference in the V2. This is the difference in the amplifiers, like you mentioned. So and the same with batteries of terminal connections all the way down to cell connections, different cells. Why do you keep coming out with new cells? You know, it's the same idea of constantly improving, giving the customer at the end of the day, whether it's an OE client, like I think Jared mentioned at the beginning of the thing, whether it's one of our, our OE clients, or it's just a cardio base head, or it's even myself pushing the boundaries with the competition. It's like constantly giving our person buying the product the best experience possible and pushing those boundaries.
Junior, give a little bias, because seeing some people that don't know or haven't got to talk to you, how long you been in car audio? I mean, when did you start in this industry?
I started at the age of 16. I started Basic Perfection, which basically I would go to downtown. I hired my mom to drive me to downtown on the weekends. I would buy gear and sell it in high school. And that's how I sort of started. As I started selling gear in high school, and when I graduated, I had like $20,000 in the bank, and my mom goes, "What are you going to do?" And I'm like, "I don't know, but I want to go to college, but I want to do car audio." And so I sort of,
when you got Massive, right? And it was kind of, I wouldn't say shambles, but it was just, I don't think they knew what direction they were going to what. I mean, were you scared when you got in there and said, hey, I'm getting charged to take the bull by the horns now? I mean,
no, actually, like I said, I had competed against Massive for many years, and I had a lot of respect, and I had seen the product development. So I had seen a lot of good, and I thought, I have a lot of skills that they need, and they have the manufacturing background that I needed, because Eddie was doing something way different than everyone else with the parts.
Right.
And he was, because he had an amplifier factory before and he owned factories in the past, he figured out that there was more money in parts, and the parts made the biggest difference in the product. So he had that down. And I had a bunch of friends that were engineers, and I've been an aficionado of car audio. So I'm a little ahead of the curve in how I think and what I see. So that made it a perfect fit. Plus we had Taco, which is the fifth largest manufacturer of cars, starting to give us a bunch of input. And so I saw that as a good opportunity for me to really up my numbers and use their buying power to increase Massive's footprint.
Ben, go ahead and put those photos up. Shawn, you wanted to bring up about the finals?
Yeah.
Ben, you got those pictures? What are we looking at here, Shawn, besides some shiny legs?
I don't see anything on my end.
Oh, you don't?
No, I don't see anything.
There you go. I'm looking at you, thumbs up and in front of 161.8.
So this was our little red car. It's got a Big Jeff Audio decal on the side. I've got a picture of that somewhere. That was the loudest freestyle car. So that's a street build. That's a single 15. It was in the heat too, and it doesn't like heat. There it is. It did a 61.8 on 4,800 watts, a single 15 behind the back seats. It was at that time the world record holder in an outlaw kick position and sealed on glass. So that in the United States right now is the loudest 5K street vehicle in the United States. But that again, that's the same conversation coming back to of, not only are we, do we enjoy selling it, we enjoy using it, and constantly I'm taking subs in that car, I'm pulling them apart, I'm changing pieces, and I go, oh, okay, well, this changed this. Well, maybe we should look at putting this into production on this, or I'm testing different batteries in there, like you and I kind of spoke on the side. It's like there's all kinds of different things I'm trying in these cars to make them lighter, to improve it. And if you've ever seen a single 15 in a vehicle like this, it's very violent. The sub is very violent. So if something's going to break, it's going to break in that moment. It's if you ever see my GoPro footage of it, it's ridiculous, to be honest. I mean, you're talking about, you can see it from 4 feet away. The sub is completely moving up and down. I mean, looks like max of how far it can move. And just the thermal capabilities. It's pretty much taking a car and going 200 miles an hour and seeing what breaks first. So if it can handle that sort of just volatile abuse, that we like to use those same things, is that's the type of expectations we get when we start building new products, is that's what we're trying to build is the best.
And JR, do you guys have a real life vehicle that you yourself or Massive Audio, or what do you guys do, or is it just sending out different people to test?
No, normally what we do is we do have a setup at the factory where we do actual live testing and burn in the product, and we also see the life expectancy of the product. But normally what we do is we sub out a lot of our engineering now, because it's not practical to have one engineer. He's not going to know everything. Like the design that we did on the motor, that we got a 3-inch coil and we shortened it, right, and made it a lot fatter, so that we can shorten the gap on like some of the SPL vehicles, because like a lot of people were trying to use SPL product on daily drivers, or vice versa, daily driver product on SPL vehicles. So it's just I
know,
guess it's subjective.
When I first got, I mean, I was installed when I was 15, 16. Gel Audio back then was like God to me. And I know the owner had a Mini Cooper. He used to actually have a removable box in this Cooper, and he would put in a box and a speaker for JL, the owner, and drive around for a couple weeks with it. And the way he looked at it, same environment, same everything, and he would just do it. But you gotta live it, like Shawn's saying. You can't just talk about it, you gotta be about it. Otherwise, you're just somebody typing on the keyboard on social media, talking.
Yeah, well, what's different nowadays is the programs. So one of the things is that, we use Mr. Dirk Ecker's program that he's been programming for 15 years. So his simulations that he does programming wise turn out to be much better than actual life, because in actual life, you have a lot of variance that can change the outcome. Whereas when you design something on a program that the materials built, specifications have been built in meticulously, you're going to get a better representation of reality before you even build it.
Right. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do another video break. We're here with JR from Massive Audio, Shawn Mayo with Excess Power on Sundown, having some good talk tonight. I'll try to get some of y'all's comments. We still have to announce the giveaways later. Go ahead and let's take a quick video break. We'll be right back. Being in the NHR world, Shawn, I can tell you, the batteries are known. We had so many people that run excess power in multiple applications, and I think everybody gets stuck just in the car audio. You guys are actually involved in OEM and different lawnmowers, and I mean, there's a lot. It's not just car audio batteries, which kind of makes you an expert in this world.
So it's kind of like we debut a lot of new products every year, obviously for multiple different markets. We also have, like, audio represents obviously a good portion of market, but it's still a small portion of our total market share and what, our total sales volume. It's a somewhat small amount. We do a lot of marine. We do a lot of power sports. We've really been pushing hard into power sports. We do a lot of racing. We do a lot of like RV technology. We do a lot of off grid. Like I said, we have a lot of different places. We do a large amount of OEM. We have a lot of different stuff. Racing, obviously, being one that we've been in for over 15 to 17 years now. So we've got a lot of, obviously, racing, car. Like I said, we have a lot of different avenues that we sell our products. So, we try to give everybody a solution if they identify a need.
Yeah, what's the flagship? If you had to pick out a product line right? Hippo, Sumo, GTX, GTR. When you need to explain Massive Audio, what is it? I mean, what is the go-to? Is it? I mean, you tell me.
We just finished the design of the Hippo XR 12. I think right now that's probably the most impressive driver that I've been part of.
And
in
why is that?
years. Well, because of the design. Number one, it's a high content driver, so it's designed for 24-bit music. It's going to be a lot faster because it has a multi-directional spider. One of the other things that we did is if you look at the new Hippo versus the old Hippo, it's about 30% taller.
Let me not cut you off, but explain multi-directional spider.
Well, a traditional spider has 4 points of tension. It's pulled in 4 directions, sort of, that
Okay.
it's woven. So it's woven in this direction and that direction, whereas a multi-directional spider is woven in multiple directions. So all the way around, it has less tension. So it has less deflection. So it means it's going to center the coil better, while it's going to be a lot more efficient. It's going to have higher SPL, higher output.
Bam! And nothing against these guys, Shawn, JR, that are bringing in amps or speakers and putting their name on it, but this is what this is really about. And you guys behind the scenes, the average person doesn't know that you supply other companies' parts and things, and totally different level. I can only imagine marketing costs and R&D costs. I mean, Shawn, how much stuff, JR, how much stuff you guys just made and thrown away? How much stuff has been made?
Frankenstein's,
Right.
a bunch of Frankensteins have been made, yeah.
Thrown away. Shawn, when you guys got into LTO, I mean, you were the first ones that really started to push that. But then as the different types of lithium changed, I mean, was there any fires? Was there any hey, we're not going to do that? I mean,
obviously, there's certain situations where we torture test our stuff before it ever even gets to market. Before you and I even have a conversation of what's coming, that thing's already been through more abuse than it's probably ever going to see in a private controlled scenario, like what Jair's mentioned about, a testing being better than in real life. What we like to do is we like to torture test them in a very controlled, strict environment where we can monitor every single signature and every single behavior characteristic that you'd want to be measured. For batteries, it could be heat, discharge, life cycle expectancy, even dollar per watt capability, dollar per amp hour. There's a lot of factors that incorporate that. But then once we get past that point, we even just intracellular and pack, termination with the housings or whatever. There's a lot of spots where you may have 6 different options where, okay, we've identified this. We really like this technology. We want to, manufacture a cell that fits within these parameters and this size and this cost and this budget. And now we spent the next 6 months, throwing different connection styles away internally that we just don't like, or that it was good, but it wasn't great. It was great, but it wasn't what we wanted. We know there was better. And that's like where Jacob Fuller at Sundown, obviously, we see him on Facebook talking about, this is what I threw this one away. It was probably better than most I've ever done, but it wasn't great. He's constantly his own biggest fan and his own worst enemy, because it's I know I can do better than that. And he's shown that over that ability. So things like that, obviously in testing, we're going to push to the very, very limit. And like everything else, there is always a limit. But generally, we generally pick inherently safe products. And obviously, we do our best to manufacture inherently safe stuff.
JR, have you ever got in the design stage and then it just comes down to at the end, it's just too damn expensive? Or do you guys start designing thinking about the budget also, right? Or is it just design and figure that out at the end?
Yeah, well, the design gets away from you after a while. I was trying to design a GTR 15 and an 18, and at the end I figured out it's almost a Hippo. So you're designing it to a point where you want it not to break, but if you over design it too much, then it becomes inefficient. Now the consumer doesn't want it. So it's a game of how much durability versus how much performance, because there's a trade-off. There's a happy medium, and you try to find that.
Big time. Everybody, I see some comments in here. Juan is talking about Let's Talk Car Audio. That's a group I started. So we all know social media trolls bashing that problem. We came up with a group, zero. And when I hate to go in groups and they say zero tolerance, but you just see it right away. Let's Talk Car Audio. Check it out. we've jumped members up. We're over 8,000 within a few weeks. And we've actually had to ban a bunch of people because the moment they start, it's not on here to even bitch about other companies or what. It's about to talk about car audio, questions and answers, ideas, things like that. So we got some great guys in there, and we have zero tolerance. I don't care what company it's about. Showing this show tonight shows two complete opposite ends of the world. Companies, what they do, can come together and have a show like this and talk and go back and forth. And I think we're missing that a lot more in car audio. Even though you two technically are competitors, right? It's competition. At the end of the day, it's still about making a good product at a good price. And unfortunately, everybody has to make a profit. I hate seeing the comments where it's like, oh, it's just you're putting a name on it, so you're paying more for it. Not always. There is so much money in R&D. There's so much money in design. There's so much money even a bad batch, right? Junior, what was the worst situation Massive has had where bad batch, bad defective product that you had to eat? I mean, was there ever a situation, or was that already pre-done before it goes in the containers?
Yeah, thank God we don't have that issue because we have full facilities in China. So we do quality control, plus we don't ship anything wet to dry in a container. So everything that we're shipping to our dealers has been listened to, has been tested. If you grab a GTR woofer, you'll see that the direct leads have actually been in a terminal already because that woofer was tested and burned in before we even shipped it. So that's one of the things that we found is most of the problems either happen because of the parts. Like one time we had some spiders that they used a different type of finish on them because they wanted to change the color, and that finish, we couldn't glue anything to it because it was just gassing off. So we'll have crinkle finish was like that back a few years ago. A lot of the crinkle finish, because there was a lot of environmental factors involved in it, was gassing off too, and the glues wouldn't hold. Or what we've seen is vendors send us glues for woofers that don't transfer magnetics. I mean, that's a huge problem. They're trying to glue top plates and back plates on motors with glue that doesn't transfer electricity. That's why you see the little beads that they put, because at the Chinese factory, they couldn't figure it out. That the glue is the problem, you know? So
that's crazy. That's crazy.
That's one of the things that I'm very fortunate of, that I get to play, since I've been pretty much most of my life, either a sales manager or vice president of companies. I've gotten to play with a lot of product, and I've gotten to see this by working with so many different engineers because of the OEM aspect.
Shawn, I know we've had really good luck with the LTO cells, and literally, you know, hard to tell defective or not. Usually it's because somebody wasn't using the balancer, it vented, or there is times where you're going to get some, stuff to ship, this humidity, you're going to get some corrosion, and that can be cleaned off. But have you guys ever had a bad hit where you just had to eat it?
I mean, the thing is, like you mentioned about the LTO sales, it's like a lot of times where a failure like that happens is the failure of the customer to understand what they're doing. Like when they go to put a stud on with an impact, it's like, well, yeah, you're going to rip the whole head off. It's like, it's happened because I've seen it in live feed. Somebody sitting there with a half-inch impact just clacking away. And I'm like, it's going to spin the whole other side. Like it's going to just, and those people around 3 years ago, they're like, I've still got them. I put mine on the impact. I'm like, please don't encourage that on live.
And everybody's been an installer for 30 years, so there's no way they did anything wrong. And I've heard that.
And sometimes, to be honest, it tests well. Like I hate to keep referencing JR, but he's got good points. It's in a situation where we test it from the factory, and there are just occasions where it takes a very hard smack in shipping, and that JR couldn't help that. Shawn at XS or Shawn at Sundown couldn't help that. The customer gets it, and it's not performing correctly, and it's like, oh, well, you should check this from the factory. It's like, well, we did, but it goes a long way. It hits a lot of doors between my door and yours, and a lot of people who don't care anything about package safety touch our products, on the way there. And it's just like there's a lot of things that, get chopped up into that, oh, well, they didn't check it. It's like that's not the case there. That, it's not my fault they dropped it 12 feet. It's like that's kind of the idea. But I do agree that, there is enough there's enough consumer in this industry for multiple brands that work in the same entity like us and Massive to exist and on the sundown aspect. And there's nothing wrong with good, healthy competition and saying, hey, you guys have a great product here. We feel like we have a better product here. It's just good competition, to be honest. That's what gives the customer a better experience and better products is when that happens. Anybody that disagrees with that, it's like, well, maybe you're just not wanting competition because you don't want to improve. You're happy where you're at. It's like we all keep pushing each other. Everybody wins when we keep pushing each other.
If we didn't have competition, we'd all be driving the same car, the same style house, the same everything. We're eating the same food. Yep. So I always welcome competition in my world because it makes me look better, or sometimes it can make me look worse, and it makes us improve what we do, the programs we provide, the service we give. So this is a great night to show two opposite ends. We can, and it flew by. We're already at the end. And I always tell people I keep it to an hour. So we definitely, Shawn, you've been on a few times. Thank you so much. JR, you've been on twice. We definitely have you guys on separate. What I've been trying to do is we started it back up after the hospital was just to bring more people in. And so it's not 1 hour of the same thing. And I think tonight we proved that we can have great communication and get things out. And we probably could have went on for hours. But because we're getting close, we have two big giveaways. Do you guys have, Ben, one of y'all pop in? Taylor, can you guys pop in real quick? There we go. Do we have the original giveaway videos loaded or just the winners?
Hang on, Ben's talking to me. What do we got, Ben?
Okay, don't worry about it. So we have two big giveaways. Massive Audio is a Hippo XL 10-inch dual 2 ohm. JR, how much power they need for that at 1 ohm?
At 1 ohm for that driver, we would recommend 2,000 watts RMS.
Okay, and approximate box size, vented or sealed?
Vented, I would say about 1.75 would be pretty good. That way you can minimize the box rise.
Okay, perfect. So we're giving that away. Hopefully you come back to Big Jeff Audio to get the amp if you don't have one. Shawn, we're running low. We're almost over. How many thousands of UC31s have we done, you and me? I mean, literally, when we buy them, these people don't know, we're buying 300-400 at a time, pallets of them. I'm shipping them out. They're going to Amazon. They're going everywhere. We're down at the end, but we're giving away. We got originally was 5. We gave one away. We got 4 winners. UC31. Keep in mind, everyone, a UC31 is made to be in line with another battery. That's the way it works.
You sold over 4,000 UC31s since you started, and you sold over 12,000 LTO sales.
There you go. Big numbers on it, and I'm sorry to see them go, but in with the old, out with the old, and in with the new. So we're gonna pick some winners, guys. I'll let you announce the winner after we play it. We have a spin the wheel, and thank you everybody tonight. Let me pre-say that we're doing these every 2 weeks. We got so much going on at the shop, man. It's really hard, and you see, we try to put a show together with videos and pictures and everything else. So I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you hit the like buttons. You're leaving comments. Share this out. Let people get some real knowledge, not just what I heard online. Really hear it online. Okay, let's do, Shawn, let's do the UC31 giveaway. Let's hit this off.
So I can see it. I can see it from my phone, but I can't see it from my computer screen. It shows it's loading.
Okay. Ben, can you? I'm gonna kick the winners off for the Massive. Can you screenshot the winners so we can bring that back up? Yes, give me a thumbs up. Okay, work on that. We have 4 winners. We'll bring those winners back up, and then we're gonna do the same thing. There was 4, so we'll screenshot that, and then we'll go back to announcing those. JR, we have that Hippo we're giving away. Here we go. We're about to run the wheel. Lucho, what was that?
Giano Olvera.
Okay, you said it better than I could.
Yeah, Luciano
Congratulations.
Olvera.
You won that Hippo XL 10-inch. Hit us up, 737 Big Jeff, which is 737-244-5333. Text us, WhatsApp us, call us, whatever. We'll get that out to you. If you need an amp, we'll make you a deal on that for sure. Thank you, Massive Audio. Ben, did you guys screenshot that? Okay, there you go, Sean. Oh, you can't see it on your computer.
I can now.
Okay. We got William Burton, Brandon Neal. There you go. You can finish it.
Yep. Brandon Neal, we got Jack Coffey and Lewis Gibson as the 4 winners of our UC31s.
Congratulations. Hit us up, 737 Big Jeff. We'll get those shipped out to you. We'll get you a Big Jeff shirt, and I'm sure if you want something from Excess, we can arrange that too. Hey, great night. It flew by. We are, which I don't remember if we brought up, I was having the whole echo thing. We obviously don't make our own brand, Big Jeff Audio. I love selling all y'all's shit, period. Okay. I have branded certain items, like we have the Big Jeff battery. We have different battery terminals and things. We just got done these 2-spot to 16-spot A&L fuse holders. What makes these different? The bottom plate is actually 1/2 inch thick. So you don't have to worry about heat melting this thing down. 500 amp fuses, no problem. And we have them all the way up. Check that out on the site. We like to bring cool products that people really like. It still blows my mind to today, guys. When I did this, I never expected somebody to even want my name on a shirt or in their car or on their window. Never was a thought. I knew one day I could make money and sell product and build a business. But thank you for all the love and supporters that, and I tell you all, never pay attention to the riffraff or the trolls or the haters. You'll never change the mind of crazy. You won't. And it's better to stay away from it. Thank you for stuff like Let's Talk Car Audio. Thank you for stuff like Big Sound by Big Jeff. Sean, you got something to tell everybody? Oh, wow.
There will be. I kind of forgot. I was like, I had something in my mind and it slipped. I was like,
something's about to drop.
Yeah, I was thinking of something. I forgot it. But I think we're going to, again, I don't want to say it ahead of time officially, but I think there's going to be some more giveaways of UC31s around Black Friday or Christmas. I just can't say it officially yet.
Yeah, 100%. I'm sure there'll be a few that pop back up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're down to the bottom of the batch there. JR, second time on. You got something you want to tell everybody?
I just wanted to thank everyone. Thank you for, looking at this video, supporting us, and interacting.
Yeah.
And letting us get some of this information out.
These podcasts take a lot of time, and my guys donate their time at night to run it. But during the week, we have to allocate enough time to put all this together, contact you guys. We book things up a month in advance. And, what I like about this is I've even got to learn things because we're so busy during the day, just ripping and running, that we get to sit down now and really just kind of talk it. And honestly, tonight we could have went on for 2 hours, no problem, but I keep it to an hour. Thank you to everybody. Episode 52 is in the books. In 2 weeks, who do we have in 2 weeks, guys? Do we have that? Where is my team? You guys pop up here real quick. I don't even know how to bring you up anymore. Who do we got?
We're on the right now. I'm pulling up the calendar. Sorry, I can't remember.
Everybody, if you don't know, Nelly's a part of our team there in the bottom right with the ears. Obviously, everybody knows Mr. Benjamin and Taylor with some hair again.
Yeah, I'm not on my work computer, so I don't know how to view the other calendar.
Okay, so Taylor dropped the ball there. We'll obviously post it up week of, and we'll have another giveaway to do. We try to do giveaways. Here's what kills me, guys, and I want to close with this. We get, like you get, people emailing you about, can I get sponsored? Can I get this? I'm trying to build that. And then I go look at their page. Not one shared post, never seen them in a giveaway. And I'm thinking, my company gives away every month multiple things. And it's like, you're asking me for something for free. Why not even try the giveaway or share something out? Keep that in mind, everybody. These guys might be there to help you, to give you something, but show the love and the support. And what we do is ask for the marketing and the good word to be spread. Keep that in mind. That goes a long way. Thank you to my team here, Nelly, Benjamin, and Taylor with some hair. Did you pull it up yet, Taylor? I was trying to.
No, I can't see the podcast email on my
All
own
right,
Outlook.
no big deal. We'll put the post out. Shawn, thank you so much for spending time with us. JR, I'll have you guys on again in the future. Thank you to all our guests. And Ben, let's take us out of here.
Thank you, Big Jeff.
Bag, yeah, that's a wrap. Big Sound is the best, and it ain't no cap. Hit the website if you need that merch. It's Big Jeff Audio and hit the search. I know you had fun, yeah, you gotta admit it. That boy Big Jeff took his thing and he did it. Always a win, yeah, never a L. Did you smash the like, subscribe, and hit the bell? Share it on your socials, put it on blast. We'll be back next week with another podcast. Big Sound in the house, like no other. Deviant and Big Jeff, the Basshead Brothers.